Hey guys, it's Jacob. Fresh off the pitch after helping them score an own goal. Gutted, but yeah, what 3 points? And yeah, let's hope this is the kickstart for the second half of the season. Come on.
We're into the final hours. Transfer deadline day is here, and the question on everyone's mind is, what can Newcastle produce? Midfield and attack are the areas to address. So let's get one almighty update on the record-breaking pursuit of Jacob. We'll also discuss all the Newcastle departures. Find out which Newcastle stars are tearing up the Premier League and break down Eddie Howe's tactical genius in Aston Villa, 1 Newcastle United 3.
That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT! Let's go.
Starting off with the Swiss masterclass. Fabian Schar delivered an outstanding performance, solidifying his position among the greatest Newcastle United centre-backs of all time. Defensively, he was brilliant, showcasing his defensive skills and making a crucial goal-line clearance to prevent the opposition from scoring. Fabian Schar hadn't scored with any of his previous 73 shots attempted in the Premier League before the game, the longest ongoing run of any player in the 2023-24 competition. But he then scored 2 from 2 shots against Aston Villa, having a match rating of 9.5, 2 goals from an 1.02 xG, 7 clearances, 1 clearance off the line, 3 blocks, 1 interception, 61 touches, 33 out of 42 passes completed, 79% pass accuracy, 5 out of 9 long balls completed. Schar's overall display was marked by his typical composure and coolness. His exceptional performance earned him the Man of the Match award. Then moving on to Trippier, the creator. Kieran Trippier put forth an impressive performance, earning a rating of 8.0. After a challenging December, he returned to a level of play that closely resembled his best form. He effectively contained the opposition's midfielders Tielemans and Moreno, preventing them from making any progress beyond him. Trippier's contributions were not limited to his defensive work. He almost set Isak up with a well-weighted pass. His corners led to Newcastle's opening 2 goals. In the game itself he had a 71% pass accuracy, 66 touches, 29 out of 41 passes completed, 5 crosses completed, 5 duels won, 4 key passes, 1 big chance created, 1 assist. Then, we also learned about Eddie Howe's tactical genius. Eddie Howe demonstrated tactical genius in the match. One noticeable improvement was the reduced gaps in behind the midfield trio, which could be attributed to Bruno Guimaraes adopting a deeper defensive role, as indicated by the heat map, and managed to have a 7.8 match rating, 78% pass accuracy, 78 touches, 39 out of 50 passes completed, 10 out of 15 ground duels won, 6 ball recoveries, 6 fouls won, 5 long balls completed, 4 out of 4 tackles won, 2 key passes, 1 big chance created. Guimaraes seemed to sit back while Sean Longstaff and Miley provided support on the flanks and did the legwork. This strategic adjustment effectively nullified Aston Villa's attacking threat. In the first 60 minutes, either Dan Burn or Sven Botman consistently tracked John McGinn when Villa built their attacks from the back. This ensured that Villa didn't have an extra man in midfield, and it was a tactic that Howe's side had implemented before, proving effective in restricting Villa's build-up play. This adjustment was a clever little tweak from Howe. Furthermore, when Leon Bailey came on as a substitute, it became clear that Burn couldn't cope with Bailey's pace later in the game. Eddie Howe made the correct decision to move Burn inside to accommodate Tyno, recognizing the need for a change to counter Villa's threats. Switching to a back 5 was an astute move by Howe. Aston Villa often had a front 6 in possession and stretched the pitch. The shift to a back 5 was the best way to deal with their width, providing defensive stability against Villa's attacking prowess. Overall, Eddie Howe's tactical decisions and adjustments proved to be successful, effectively addressing Aston Villa's strengths and exploiting their weaknesses. With Eddie Howe saying, "Our game plan was to be aggressive and stop their rhythm. We did that well in the first half. They play a high line and we used that well. We had to adjust our plan when they got the goal, but the players saw it out well." Then, Jacob Murphy deserves a big shout-out for his performance in the match. Although he may still be getting up to speed and lacking match sharpness, he managed to make a significant impact. One notable contribution was his excellent through ball to release Anthony Gordon, showcasing his ability to create scoring opportunities. Furthermore, Murphy's involvement led to an own goal from Alex Moreno. He met Miguel Almiron's cross, putting pressure on the opposition and forcing Moreno to score an own goal. Murphy's presence on the right side of the pitch has brought something that the team has been missing over the past 3 months: raw pace and directness. His attributes provide balance to the team and offer a different type of threat compared to players like Miguel Almiron. However, it is noted that Murphy may not link as smoothly with Kieran Trippier, as the latter sees less of the ball when Murphy is more involved, as he doesn't constantly receive passes back from him, as highlighted in the passing networks. But that's not to take away the good that he offers to the team. Another player who has proved people like me wrong is Martin Dubravka, who has been really calm in goal and making incredible saves time and again. In the game itself, he had a match rating of 7.5, producing 4 saves, minus 0.24 goals prevented, 3 saves in the box, 1 out of 1 successful run-out, and 2 high claims.
Martin Dubravka, how good a performance was that from Newcastle tonight?
I think that was our best performance for a away trip, so I'm delighted because obviously we know that we have a bad record, but we show today a mentality, dedication, team spirit, so very positive.
And you showed all that against a team that's 4th in the table, that was unbeaten at home. How significant is that, do you think, to remind people of just how good Newcastle can be?
I think from the first minute we showed that we wants to win the match. We were fully dedicated and we did everything what was possible to achieve what we wanted. So give it credit to our players because they were very hungry and they were just mentally ready for it.
It must have been so nice for you as players and staff to go and share a good moment of celebration at the end with the away fans, because you've not been able to do that very much away from home this season.
Especially against a very good side, because we have to give the credit to the Aston Villa players. They have such a good record at home, and obviously to beat them at their stadium is something special. And I'm so happy that we give something to our fans who travel here and supported us. So it was amazing after the match to celebrate and then give this kind of feelings, emotions to them.
It's been a difficult time for the team with a lot of injuries and a bad run of form, but you're now into the 5th round of the FA Cup. You move up to 7th in the Premier League table. So how much optimism and positivity is there now about what can come in the last few months?
I think you say it right, like we are in a good momentum now, so we have to keep it, and hopefully the next game we show, obviously at St. James Park, that we are a quality team and we want to achieve the same thing as the last season. That's our goal. So we have to step up in a moment like this, and obviously hopefully we turn around the away record what we have.
Just a couple more from me. The manager, speaking last week, said some nice things about you and how well you've been performing, because you've been in the team for almost 2 months now. As every week passes and the more you play, are you feeling more like yourself?
I just trying to enjoy every moment on the pitch. Always trying to work hard and obviously show my qualities. I have to be patient, but I always went in the right way. I always want to be there for my teammate when they needed me. So just enjoying myself.
And just a word on Luton at the weekend, because they had a big win against Brighton tonight. You played at Luton just before Christmas and saw how tough that can be, but it's a great opportunity, isn't it, for you to get another big result?
It is a great opportunity, obviously. We know that they beat Brighton 4-0, which didn't expect that, to be fair, but give a credit to them. But obviously we're going to play at home at St. James Park, a special place to play, and I think we have a momentum. We did very well today, so we just have to be ready for next one.
The result means that Newcastle become the first away team to win at Villa Park in the Premier League in over 11 months, since Arsenal won 4-2 in February last year. This was only the Magpies' second away victory in the league this season, ending Aston Villa's 17-game home unbeaten run. This being also the first time they'd gone 3-0 down in a home league game since April 2022 under Steven Gerrard. Plus, Newcastle have also now scored 8 goals against Aston Villa in the Premier League this season. In Unai Emery's career within the Big 5 European leagues, this is the joint most they've conceded against an opponent in a single league campaign. But more importantly for Newcastle, they have now ended a run of 4 defeats in a row.
Came to Villa Park last season. It was probably the only time last season that you were well beaten. obviously a complete turnaround here. You know how good Aston Villa can be, and they hadn't lost at home since February. It's a really significant result and performance to be able to do to them what they've done to a lot of other teams.
Yeah, and that's why we knew today was such a big test for us. You know, we beat Fulham a couple of days ago and we weren't brilliant, but we got an important result, and I know that the confidence levels had been low, so maybe that was a big lift, and we followed it up again today with a massive, not just a win, but a massive performance that was much more like ourselves.
And lastly, how nice once again to share those scenes at the end with the supporters. You've been able to do it after the derby and also at Fulham, but not too many times away from home this season.
No, not in the Premier League. Our form's been disappointing, and I really feel for the supporters that have travelled up and down the country and followed us, and we haven't really given them a lot back. I think cup competitions has been different, but Premier League no, and that's why it's such a good thing, especially with the travel disruption they have getting home now. But they leave feeling happy.
However, after Fabian Schar scored to make it 2-0 for Newcastle, Alexander Isak signaled to the coaching staff that he needed to be substituted due to a thigh complaint. This sight was concerning for Newcastle, as Isak has already missed parts of the campaign due to the same injury. However, Eddie Howe, the Newcastle manager, expressed optimism that Isak's injury is not a serious one. During the post-match comments, Howe said, "We don't really know. It looks like a slight groin injury. Hopefully we get him back sooner rather than later." Then moving on to some transfer news. Newcastle United has made an announcement regarding midfielder Lewis Miley, stating that he has signed a new long-term contract with the club. The 17-year-old midfielder is a product of Newcastle's academy and has been with the club since the age of 7. Miley has progressed through the youth ranks and made his senior debut under manager Eddie Howe in February of the previous year. Miley holds the distinction of being Newcastle's youngest ever Premier League debutant, achieving this milestone on the final day of the 2022-23 season in an away match against Chelsea. Despite his young age, he has featured regularly for the Magpies this season, taking advantage of the team's injury crisis and making 18 first-team appearances across various competitions. Notably, Miley became the youngest ever Newcastle player to contribute an assist in the Premier League when he set up Alexander Isak for a goal in a 4-1 victory over Chelsea in November of the previous year. Just a month later, he became the youngest player to provide an assist for an English club in the Champions League, assisting Joelinton's goal in a 2-1 loss to AC Milan. 3 days following this achievement, Miley continued to etch his name in the club's history books by becoming Newcastle's youngest ever Premier League goal scorer in a 3-0 win against Fulham. Although Miley's original contract was set to expire in June 2026, he has decided to extend his stay at St. James Park by signing a new long-term deal. This commitment reflects the club's belief in Miley's potential and his bright future with Newcastle United. Then, according to Ben Jacobs, Miguel Almiron to Al-Shabaab, now definitely off. Al-Shabaab had reached a verbal agreement with Newcastle following a week of talks, but Almiron chose not to make the move. As a result, Al-Shabaab never sent their formal offer. While reports from The Athletic had claimed that Newcastle had approached Villa regarding a possible deal for Ramsey, who is highly sought after as a central midfielder. When questioned about these reports during his press conference ahead of Newcastle's midweek match against Villa, Eddie Howe firmly denied the claims. He bluntly stated, "Incorrect," seeking to distance the club from any involvement in pursuing Ramsey. Then on anything to be expected before the window closes, Eddie Howe said, "I expect us to be finished for the window. There's very little time for us to do anything, either in or out. We don't know the severity of Isak's injury, but hope it's not too bad. But his injury isn't likely to change things. I don't think we have the ability to do that."
We don't do that here.